The year is 1994. You're a little upset that you still haven't got the Hot Wheels Happy Meal toy with the badass flames, despite having 3 stupid green DeLorean knockoffs. And you just watched MaSTRDre for the first time, which I'm sure definitely won't leave a gaping hole inside your soul that by 2019 still never truly got repaired. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was released earlier in the year, and it was pretty good. You had a totally rad time kicking Eggman's ass, and curb stomping this stupid red... dog? Rat? Knuckles? But there was something missing. It didn't quite feel complete. But what's this? Christmas is here and there's one more present under the tree. You unwrap it to discover Sonic and Knuckles, and thanks to the power of lock-on technology, you can play Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles in all of its goddamn glory. Hey, these Sonic games just keep getting better and better. I can't wait for 1995. Surely that'll bring an incredible Sonic 4. Or how about that new Sega Saturn console? The new hardware will open up so many doors for Sonic 5. But it didn't. It wasn't until 2017 that we had a true return to form for old school Sonic. The last 2 decades have been... pretty patchy for our boy in blue. But this was new. This was fresh. This was a gamble that nobody saw coming.
Yeah, I find it kind of surprising that it took as long as it did to go back to basics. Sega had shown us previously through games like Generations that they weren't afraid to play around with what people knew and loved.
But they still needed your boy, the Taxman, to develop multiple high-quality ports of their old games, have them be incredibly popular, pitch the idea for Mania himself, and then lead the development to make Sonic Mania a reality. This man is an absolute godsend, and the work that he and the rest of the Mania team put into this whole experience is commendable. Sega could finally have their cake and eat it. The Taxman and his team would spoon-feed Sega a popular game, and no doubt lots of income, and Sega would continue going down the mainline route they are insistent on taking by creating Sonic Forces. The game was a massive critical success. Mania, that is, not not Forces. Sonic Mania sold well, it rated well, and it played well. The level choices, although perhaps a little heavy on nostalgia, were still unique from start to end. Sure, we have yet another trip into Green Hill and Chemical Plant, but then we've got Oil Ocean, Lava Reef, Metallic Madness, levels that previously would have slipped a lot of people's minds when thinking back to the classic stages. And somehow, these are great now. The second act of every zone especially shakes things up by heavily remixing the gimmicks and hazards that came before it. These aren't straight cut and paste from the past games. Aside from the art style and the colour palettes, most of this stuff is completely new. And just when you thought it couldn't get any better, a reasonably priced DLC is announced that brings back 2 near-dead characters from the deep depths of the Sonic canon, adding 2 new playstyles with adorable sprites to completely obliterate speedruns with. They also added an encore mode which gave players yet another excuse to play through the Mania content, with new colour schemes, a pinball minigame, and character switching that made it all feel new.
So if it isn't clear to everybody by now, it's pretty obvious that Sega was sitting on a winning formula with this. I'm sure the team got straight back to work and started development on Mania 2. I bet it's ready for release any month now. Right? Right?
But it isn't. Since the promotion and release of Sonic Mania Plus, we've heard basically nothing. In May 2018, Sega explained that they currently do not have any plans for a sequel. But why? You have the most popular Sonic the Hedgehog game in God knows how long, and you're happy to close the book and move on. It doesn't make any sense. Not that Sega is well known for its history of sensible decision making. Mania 2 would sell itself. You take the formula that made Mania so popular, you maybe even out the percentage of classic and new levels so they sit a little more evenly. We avoid Green Hill and Chemical Plant. We introduce Amy Rose as a playable character, and bish bash bosh, you've got yourself the game of the year. Emerald Hill would make a great starting level. It's still super satisfying to go back and run in Sonic 2, and I'd love to see it get a fresh coat of paint and a remix. It looks so good on the fan-made HD project, and it'd be so good to see it in an official Sonic game. I'd also like to see some sort of amalgamation of all the classic casino levels, and, hear me out, a remixed Marble Zone. Imagine if we got a good Marble Zone. The first 30-40 seconds of gameplay have everything you'd expect from Marble Zone. A little bit of waiting around, maybe push a block to lift a hazard, and then you drop down into a cannon or catapult that fires you to an absolutely mental balls to the walls roller coaster of speed. That's what worked before, and that's what'll work again. A few zones people love with all the power of their nostalgia boners, a few zones that people thought they hated but have been remade in a way that makes them great, and a number of new zones unlike what we've seen before. Oh, and get T-Lopes back on the soundtrack again because the Mania soundtrack is incredible. Realistically, I don't think we could increase the character count beyond 5. You've got to remember that when designing these levels, alternative character-specific paths have got to be considered at every turn. 3 was really the golden number if you ask me. Sonic takes the standard route, Tails is your easy mode, and Knuckles was the slightly harder alternative route taker. When you start introducing a 4th and 5th playable character, you need to make stages way bigger. What I would suggest would be to switch out Mighty and Ray. They come as a duo and it'd be weird to have one without the other. Maybe as a completion reward or DLC for Mania 2, Amy Rose and Metal Sonic could become playable. God knows the people want Amy, and Metal Sonic is getting a lot of love in the Mania animated miniseries too. I'd suggest you keep your core 3, but swap out the 2 guest slots with every instalment. But that's enough spitballing. Here's my detailed argument for why we should get a sequel for Sonic Mania. First one was good. Second one would probably be good too. Fans happy, Sega money. Amy goddamn Rose. There's a small group of people who want to keep Sonic Mania as a standalone. A one-off return to the 2D roots that made Sonic so great. A one-off that proves Sonic did used to be great and still can be. A one-off that doesn't risk its reputation by trying to force a sequel that could bomb after the nostalgia magic has faded. And look, I hear you. A theoretical Sonic Mania sequel that wasn't successful critically or financially would realistically be the end of classic Sonic. But here's the thing. There's enough classic environments, characters, gimmicks, and friggin' memes to make this and any future Mania titles unique. Hell, you could use Knuckles Chaotix and other old school Sega environments for stage inspirations. Take a look at the crazy number of mods available for the original games and now Mania. The fanbase for this series has thrown out 1,000 perfectly good ideas for potential sequels, and people are still making mods today. It's where a lot of the team for Sonic Mania started out. The one caveat to a sequel that should go without saying is that it needs to be led by Christian Whitehead again. The Taxman has such a firm grip on what makes the classic games so great that he's basically Sonic's adopted dad. Assuming that he's willing and waiting, Sega should A. Give that man a raise, and B. Put that man to work.
The beginning of 2019 saw the announcement that he has co-founded a new game studio. So is this good news or bad news?
Well, on the one hand, stepping away from Sega and setting up their own company would suggest that they're turning their attention to more original projects and creating new games from scratch. On the other hand, the colours in the logo and the very company name itself is an obscure reference to the Sonic franchise, so only time will tell. It would be great if Sega could contract the newly formed Evening Star more officially, but we'll have to wait and see. Whatever they have in store next, be it Sonic related or something completely different, I'll be sure to check it out. But no matter what happens, we have Mania, a game that so many of us will replay and replay and replay, always thankful that 2D Sonic got his encore. And a bloody good one at that.
What the f-